Hi there. Have you ever thought that changing your price could change your life? We are here to talk about it today with Joy Nyree, who is one of my graduates of the Luxury Business Blueprint. And I want to welcome you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Miki Wright. I'm a salon business coach, a salon growth strategist, and I help and train hairstylists and other beauty professionals how to create six-figure businesses and beyond without overworking and without overwhelm. And so I'm excited to be here and have this conversation. So welcome, Joy.
Hi.
Hi there. It's like I am wanting to share a little bit about what we're going to dive into.
Okay.
And it was actually what you shared with me after completing the Luxury Business Blueprint. And you named it transformational. And it says, when I signed up for this course, I was simply looking for some simple tools to help me with my price increase. Well, this course was more than that. Mickey starts off with affirmations that you are encouraged to read every day, and she really digs into in deep, truly dealing with our mindsets and the importance of changing how we see ourselves, not just as stylists, but as a person. I never expected this course to change my life and how I see myself, as well as giving me the life changing tools and tips to become successful. This course really helps you identify your sweet spot services, your financial goals, and what you want your life to look like. She really helps us to see that we deserve to get paid for our time and our knowledge. There aren't enough characters in this text that would allow me to truly express the impact this course has made. This has been one of the best investments I've made for myself. If you're on the fence, I say go for it. You are worth it. So
Yep.
I welcome you with all of that. That is like
Thank you. Thank you.
so heartwarming. So start wherever you'd like to start, but it's like we'd like to just hear like what was life like for you prior to joining the course and what your journey was like.
So prior to joining the course, I was right at this place where it was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this price increase. And my approach before would be to ask the stylist next door to me, like, hey, did you go up $5? Or, to go online and look at the salons in the areas and see what they were charging. So I really didn't have, that was all I did. And I knew that I just felt in my heart there has to be more. There has to be kind of a strategy to this, and I didn't know it. And so I happened to I think I don't know if it was an email I got, but you sent out an email. No, you were a guest on another platform,
Mm.
and you were talking about the luxury hairstylist blueprint. And so I was like, so I started following you on social media, and then you had advertised for the course. And I thought, wow, this is right on time, because I was in this space where it was like, okay, it's time for me to raise my prices, but I didn't have a strategy for it. So went on there, signed up, and then my life changed.
So tell us more about that. What happened on the other side?
So on the other side, so once, we started and everything, again, I'm a creative, but I'm also business too. So I kind of come in with this like seriousness and, just this kind of business mindset, not expecting like, hey, we're going to read these affirmations every day. I need you guys to print these out. Before you started the course, you would read excerpts from Acts of Faith, which I have ordered.
Yes.
Um, and it was just like, I just knew it was a God thing, because that appeals to me personally. And I didn't expect for you to really approach it from a heart space, like, how do you see yourself? What is your self-worth? And I remember there was one thing in particular that we had to read. I don't have it in front of me, but I remember crying,
Mm.
because I realized that I did not see myself like that. And so that's when it was just like, wow, okay. You didn't even jump right into strategies and stuff. It was just like you started there, and that was amazing for me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. When we talk about like becoming a luxury stylist and really stepping into that space, going from, more than the $5 increase,
Yeah. Yes.
it's like you have to become another person than the person you've been.
Yeah.
And so, what was that kind of awareness like for you? And, what were your thoughts when you kind of saw where we were leading in terms of, this isn't going to be a $5 increase?
Again, I went into this because I was looking for a strategy. I knew that there was more.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the way you broke everything down, I had never considered what are my sweet spot services? How much, time am I spending on a client? Or it was just so much. It was so rich. But I had never really considered that. Even you having us taking the time out to say, okay, what is your goal and how are you going to meet it? And having the sheets where we had to put down just our daily averages and just stuff like that, where I had never really just taken the time. I didn't even know to do that. I didn't even know to do it. And even one of the top things, I realized I was giving away a lot of things for free. That I was not charging for things that I should have been charging for.
Talk a little about that.
So like blow dries, for example. So I'm a master colorist, and I wasn't charging like a separate charge for maybe like blow dries, or I was giving away conditioning treatments. I was giving away, just all kind, not conditioning treatments, not the Olaplex treatments, but just like, you need this mask, and so I would just do it. And I wasn't really thinking like all those things were like 10 and 15 and 20 and $25 more that I could have been making. Like I said, I had no idea. So I realized if you made us look up how much we lost, yeah, that'd be a whole nother conversation, a whole nother live. But I realized like, wow, I was losing money. I wasn't making money. So just off of that, before even raising the price, I had to go back and look at how much I was losing.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that is so common in our industry. It's like we give a lot away. It's like, whether it's in discounts, whether it's in services, whether it's throwing things in, it's like all of those things. And we don't realize the impact that it has, because like you say, it's like, oh, well, it's $5 here or $10 or $20 or maybe $30 or whatever. But you start adding all that stuff up. And, I've done some kind of loose studies, I guess you could say, but the average stylist is leaving about $25,000 on the table every year.
I believe it. Yeah. Like I said, I couldn't bring myself to add it up, but I definitely, I'm sure. because another thing that you taught us too is, of course, we can love up on our clients and all those things, but at the end of the day, they are still paying for a service, and that fine line of becoming friends and, those type of things also affects things, because now it's like, oh man, I went to dinner with Sally a few times and now I'm afraid to charge her more, because what if I, just all of that, even seeing kind of that part of it. I'm a very loving person and good natured and all that, but it was like, you could still do this, but you still need to charge for that conditioning mask, Right. So yeah. So it again, I had to go under construction for sure.
Okay. So talk to us about that, because like I've met with someone before who, came to me because they wanted to raise their prices, but they were so resistant to raise their prices.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they said was that the person that I compared it, because she actually gave clients to another stylist who was charging more, and then when she went up, she still didn't go up to where the other person was charging, and she felt like she did better work, than the
right
people to. And so when we started talking, she said, but I love my clients, as if someone who's charging more didn't.
Yes. I definitely can relate to that, because you want to love them and, do all these things, and not to kind of, but, they're going on ski trips and going to the Alps and all that. And and not, saying, hey, okay, because you have money, I need to be charging you more. No, but it's like I'm losing out, I didn't know my value, as a colorist. And I was terrified to raise my prices, because I knew that there was a possibility of me losing clients.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at the loss. I didn't look at the gain. I didn't look at, okay, you're going to still gain people. And as you gain people, now you can move forward in this new, whoever's meant to be my client is going to stay and all of that. And those that weren't meant to be there, bye, but that was hard for me because you do build those relationships and you don't want to see people go and you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings and all of that. And that had me in jail.
Okay. Say that again.
That had me in jail. In jail.
That you created, self-created.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and talk to us about with those, the fear of loss, I guess you could say. What was that like beyond, like what did you think would happen if, like some of your clients left or if their feelings were hurt or, any of those things that were part of your thought process?
Well, definitely, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So obviously I don't want to hurt anybody. I think that was first and foremost. And then losing income,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because say somebody came in, consistently every 5 to 6 weeks and, I could depend on that and all of that. And then that fear of, okay, you raise your prices and now this person is gone. Or what if, 10 people leave?
Mm-hmm.
So my focus was more on that versus, hey, but you deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say those two things is just, of course, not wanting to see Miss Susie go, and the bigger part of it was the loss of income.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
Yeah.
what would happen if you lost that income?
Then my bills won't get paid, and then the car payment can't get paid, so you have this reel playing through your mind of all these things and lack, and I'm gonna get a foreclosure notice, and all these things start going through your mind if I do this.
Right, right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's not just, like the surfacey, like, oh, well, it's like I don't want them to leave or, it's like, or I'll lose some income. It's the doomsday kind of picture that
Yes,
we paint. It's
yes,
like, oh my God, the complete world will end. I'll be homeless,
yes,
carless,
yes, yes.
all of these things. So I want to pause for just a second. It's like, thank you guys who are joining us. And we are on StreamYard, the StreamYard platform. And if you'd like for us to know your name, it's like you can there's a little button, I guess, at the bottom of the writing there that says, that you allow them to show us your name. But that's an option, so you don't have to. But it's like we have our Facebook user here who says they learned a lot the hard way about being close to friends or close friends with clients, especially the ones that don't value you. Yeah, it's like it's a fine line and it's really, professional friendships that we develop,
Yeah,
not necessarily these personal, like, oh, we're gonna go hang this weekend
yep.
if we want to keep our clientele. And so and then Kia's here and says hello. Hi, Kia. And so talk to us about what actually happened when you raised your prices, because we had the
So I raised my prices, I sent out the email and it was like, dun, dun, dun. And so then, it's just like, wait for it. Right. And, so what I did was I did raise my prices, but I also listed the things like services that I would no longer be doing.
Mhm.
So you definitely helped me with that. And I also listed, like, for example, that blow dry styling was no longer included
Mhm.
in, that there would be a separate charge for that. So I didn't over detail it, but I still highlighted a few things that were going to change. And then also that there would be a price increase.
Mhm.
So once I did that, and I did lose some clients, but honestly, I still have my clients. They
Okay.
didn't want to go. They didn't want to go anywhere.
Mhm.
And again, I still had to have conversations, which you taught us about that too, how
Mhm.
to address it. And it was awesome. And so for maybe the 10 or 15 people that I lost, I gained maybe 20 or 25 people,
Yeah.
So the cool thing about that is that it allowed me to kind of move forward in this newness And, and then you just become more confident the more you kind of put things into action. It's like, hey, okay. And also the key thing was really letting clients know upfront how much things were going to cost.
Right.
I was guilty of just jumping right in. And then later it's like, okay, $6,000, and they're looking crazy, So now I can kind of go in, like you said, I don't have to necessarily say, okay, your haircut's going to be $25, your color's going to be $7. Just you're getting color, a blow dry, a haircut, like you taught me how to kind of do it in a way where it's like, okay, it's going to be this. And if I even feel like it'll be more, I still kind of open it and say, okay, well, once we get in there, there's a possibility this can change. Before I move forward with anything, I will let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how does that feel like, saying it is, because I think a lot of us have the fear of like, okay, I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that they love it enough when we finish that when I show them how much it actually is, that it'll be like, oh, okay. But a lot of times we create sticker shock and we create challenges with clients that we didn't need to create challenges with because they did love their hair, but they got sticker shock.
Yeah.
And it's like just letting them know up front, what was that transition like for you? And then how did you feel like at the end?
I still have shock. Like I still was doing this.
Right.
But the value that I saw was that it also helps the client to see what they are getting.
Right.
A lot of times the clients don't realize all the work that, like, okay, I am doing a full color with highlights and a trim and a blowout and a mask. They just, so they may hear $500 and they're just hearing $500, but they're not thinking that, well, this took me 3 hours to do, and all of that. So I feel that where it helped me was kind of laying it all out there so they kind of even have an understanding of what all they're getting.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you said after, I don't know, 4 or 5 months after you kind of completed the course, and I hesitate to call it a course because it's kind of not like the typical course, like, oh, well, I took that, I forgot all about that or what have you, because it kind of becomes part of your everyday operating system. But you said you had kind of an aha or light bulb or something 4 or 5 months after. What was that?
Yes. So I sent out my notice, I think it was in November. Which another thing, it was right before the holidays. And normally I don't ever do that. I'll wait until after the holidays and then, but it was like in November, like right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so it took me a few months to kind of get used to putting everything in practice. And so the more I did it, the more confident I became and the more used to it I became. And it became, you have this rhythm. And then one day it was just like, I woke up and I just felt like I had arrived. There ain't no other way to explain. I mean, I felt like, okay, this is what Miki was talking about. Like, I feel that to call it the luxury hairstylist blueprint, it is the blueprint. It is the blueprint, because I feel like for me, by doing all the things that I was taught, it got me here. It got me here.
Okay. So tell us where here is now.
Here is just more confident. My self-worth is just so much higher. I'm more confident as a stylist. I'm not afraid to charge people, what I deserve to be paid. And I look at it more like, man, like you are good. Like you are a master colorist. Like you do deserve this. Like, I'm still humble, but it's like, you know what? I am that chick. I can do it. And, they come here for me for this good quality service and I deserve to get paid for it. And I didn't have that before. I'd be like, yeah, I'm a colorist, but now it's like, I can, hold my head up high and I know my value as a colorist, and it's just amazing. And having that foundation laid for me, I think I'm a numbers person. So it was really cool to see things broke down in a way that I was like, wow, okay. So my, I forgot what you called it, but, like what you want to make for the week or the day. When I would get those days, it was just like, oh, I remember writing this number down,
Right,
you
right.
know, and it just brought it brought joy to me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like you set the goal and with
Yes.
setting it, did that feel like this is probably not gonna happen? You know what I mean? Was it that kind of feeling for you or what?
It was because I had all kind of things going on in my mind, like, okay, here's this daily goal that I have, and I got to raise my prices. And then, so it was just like these two different, it was like this excitement of, oh, I can't wait to hit this goal. But then you're about to raise your prices and you may lose people. I don't know if you're going to make this goal, you
Mhm.
know? And
Right.
so then when you hit it, over and over again, then it was like, okay, okay, like riding that bike, like I don't need the training wheels anymore. I'm steady. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's really good. So life wise, it's like I think you had some changes and I just want to share even before you get into that. Um is Joy would do her it is an online course at this point, and she would do her work early in the morning. And so I'm not like the super early morning person, so a lot of times I wake up to these lovely emails where she really was like, okay, I got this and this out of it, and really like put things in place. So it was really great just to see and witness your growth and your progress in that way. So I appreciate you taking time to add the comments and write down what it was. And I hope it was helpful for you to like really acknowledge what you were gaining from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so tell us, what shifted for you other than your hair career?
So I am very passionate about health, wellness, and fitness. And I kind of feel like it all ties in together, really. I mean, even though hair is a different industry, but it's like when you're eating right and you feel good and you look good and your hair is done, feel like it all comes together. And so I had an injury in 2020, and so my chiropractor put me on this anti-inflammatory diet, and so I didn't have to have surgery or anything like that. But I saw how God used like your nutrition and fitness and everything to heal. And
Mm,
so I really want, and I feel like even emotionally, like it helped me, especially during COVID.
mm,
It really helped me mentally. And so I want to be able to give back in that capacity and walk with others through their fitness journeys, and where the blueprint, because we're not calling it a course, really helped me was that it gave me the blueprint for that, because it was like, okay, the first step is to really see where people's minds are at and where their heart is, and what makes you have this mindset and how come you don't believe in yourself. Because when you hit that, then you'll go in there and hit those weights, or you'll be on fire to eat those carrots, or so yeah, so it actually, I feel like I have the tools from there that I could take and apply to become a health, wellness, and fitness coach. So I'm pretty excited about it.
awesome, awesome. So have you already started that?
So I started the nutritionist side of it. So I'm taking a holistic. So I'll be a holistic nutrition coach. Like, you got to get all the certifications, and then I'll do the personal training thing, and just really kind of zeroing in on my sweet spot services.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, so I am in the works of doing that. So hopefully, I'm hoping by next year I'll be up and running and ready
Mhm.
to make it happen.
Awesome. Okay. Excellent. So let me just share a few of these things. So Kia says she's definitely wants to take things to she's worried about that too. It's like I think when you were talking about the raising your prices and losing clients and losing income and the car being gone and the it's very relatable. So it's like yes, it's like it's
Do it, Kia. Do it. I'm telling you, do it.
and Sonia says God gave you the talent, so don't let people take what you are worth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm always a little cautious with the word deserve. It's like for me, a lot of times it's been a word that kind of gets me into trouble. Like, oh, I deserve, to get this outfit, or I deserve to get this, like I
Yeah.
work hard and this, that, and the other. And even, like, you mentioned like charging your worth kind of thing. And it's like, and I do that because people identify with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not so much about what you you're invaluable as a person. It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
not so much about what you're worth, but about the value that you're bringing to the
Yes.
clients in the marketplace. Does that resonate for you?
It does resonate for me. And I understand what you're saying about, like, just being mindful of using the word deserve, because it's not an entitlement word. It's not like I'm
Right.
entitled to this because but it's seeing your value as a hairstylist, as a colorist, as a massage therapist, knowing that, wow, you know what, I'm really good at what I do.
Hmm.
And I take the time. We know what we bring to the table, and we deserve to get paid for that. We're not being extortionists. We're not saying, oh, because I'm Billy Blanks, I'm going to charge you $200 extra. No, it's not because of my name per se, but it's what I bring to the table. Your hair doesn't fall out. I'm taking all the precautions I need to make sure that not only do you get a great service, but that the ambiance is awesome, just all
Right.
the care and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So was there anything that you thought that you needed to wait before you could raise your prices?
So here's an interesting thing. And I love that you asked this question, because I kept thinking, okay, let me uh do some extra things so that they'll see the value in me raising the prices, if that makes sense. Like, let me serve M&Ms now in Dixie cup. You know what I mean? Like all these extra things that you think you like to justify this price increase.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, no. And so that was the hard part. It was mean, but normally I would have done that. Like, okay, like, because I'm scared, let me do these extra things so that they can see that I'm valuable.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's one of the things I hear all the time. It's like, well, I can raise my prices, but I just need to take another class, or I just need to remodel my salon, or I just need to, change this area of my salon.
Yeah.
Or let me run out and get some, water and snacks and stuff like that.
Yes.
Coffee, a Keurig. It's like we've got to have all of these things, like you say, to justify.
Right.
It's not about that.
And I mean, I eventually did those things, but it was way after the price increase.
Mhm,
And I work out of a salon suite, and I've been there 9 years. So they offered us upgrades.
mhm.
So it wasn't like, I'm glad I didn't do it around the same time, because then it would have been like, oh, she's charging us more money because she wants new floors.
Right.
So in a way, I'm glad that it didn't happen at the same time. Now, I still want it to look nice and elegant and all the things, but
Right.
I'm glad that I did the price increase before those changes. And it forced me to have to step outside of my comfort zone. That we don't realize what we think is comfortable. We don't realize that fear sometimes is comfortable, or hiding under a blanket is comfortable. Like, I wanted to do those things, but it was like, okay, you're not going to change if you keep doing. And there still were times that I went back to certain things, and then I'd have to go, okay, no, because I spent more time in the old mindset than I did in the new mindset. So it took me some time. So that's why I said at about month 5,
Mhm.
I had already kind of worked through all of those things. And it was like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's yeah, definitely, like I love how you put that we're like our comfort zone a lot of times is fear.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like in the Bible where it talks about putting new wine in old wineskins, I mean, so I had to go through that, and then the wineskin kept bursting and kept bursting and kept bursting. And, you're going to lose more when you keep bursting. But then I finally got it, it just, again, it was just like this aha moment where it was like, you know what?
Mhm.
I can do this. And I
Right.
did it. Yeah.
And you are already doing it.
Yes, right, right. Well,
Yeah.
with the new mindset, with
Hmm.
the new mindset for
Right.
sure. So,
Right. Yeah, it's like you mentioned acts of faith. My copy is very weathered. I've had it for many years. It's a book of affirmations and meditations by Ian Van Zant, who had Ian Van, what is it? Changed My Life.
yes.
That's the name of it. Yeah, and I've been a fan of hers for many, many years. I lived in the DC area, so before she was on Oprah and before she became a national, I mean, I think she was already a national best-selling author,
Hmm.
a phenomenal speaker, and just I love her as an author. But this book has been with me. It was a gift from one of my clients, and I've had it for years. I've used it for starting our salon meetings, our team meetings. We would start out because it's like kind of setting the tone for where we want to go,
Hmm.
getting ourselves gathered. We're in this new space. We're about to have, whatever it is, and we want to set the tone. And so I do
Yeah.
use that quite a bit. And the affirmations can be quite powerful. And so I appreciate you talking about that.
There was one you had us read. I cannot remember the name of it, but it talked about being afraid to shine your light because that. I mean, I cried when I read that because I really what came up for me was like it was the opposite. I didn't feel that because I was afraid to shine my light. I felt it. I felt that way because I felt that way because I didn't believe I had light. So
Mm,
it really challenged the way that I saw myself.
wow.
I
Wow.
still have it. I'm gonna
Mhm.
frame it and put it on my wall. Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's a poem by Marianne Williamson, and it was made really popular by oh my gosh, it's escaping that he became the president of South Africa. Um, and why can't I call his name right now? But you all probably know who I'm talking about. But I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and just read the first lines of it because it is very powerful, and it is why I incorporated it into the training because it does kind of force you to look at yourself and see, am I living where this is talking about? And it's like the answer is probably. And so how do we get out of that? So forgive me, I'm looking down because I'm just trying to see if I can scroll. I have it saved, but then it looks like I have a couple thousand other things saved as well. But yeah, it's like that sounds like it kind of broke a little barrier for you to be able
hmm.
to more of what we covered.
Yeah, it did. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah. So I'll share, and in fact, I'll go ahead and share it because it is so powerful. I hope it will help someone who's out here listening. But it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?
Mm.
You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us, not just in some of us, but in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And
Mm.
as I said, that's by Marianne Williamson, and it's part of a return to love. So, yes, that
I
is
love it.
deep stuff.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, it's like if we can kind of incorporate some of that, and I think your light shining is probably giving permission to some of your clients, some of your
Hmm.
clients in the nutrition and wellness arena to be able to shine as well. Have
Yes.
you, have you found that in terms of your interactions with your clients?
I do. They definitely notice like, like a difference. I feel like even when they ask questions like, wow, like your skin looks so good, or like, just they notice that my spirit is changed and different, and so just like all of us will want to know, like, what's the secret, or what are you doing differently? Or
Mhm.
so that definitely opens the door to have deeper conversations. So I love it.
Right. Yeah, and share with us is like you shared, just an experience with a client. It's like, and sometimes we with the course, and with the blueprint, it's designed to minimize any pushback from your client.
Yes.
And so, but it
Yes.
also allows everybody to make the choices that are best for them and create
Yes.
a win-win situation. And so you shared, just an experience, and it may be kind of a conglomeration of experiences,
Yes.
but share with us a little bit about that, because how you handled it now and how you may have handled it before.
So I definitely have experienced pushback, so I don't want to make light of the price increase and make it seem like I didn't, it was all good. And I did experience some pushback. I had a client say that, I just don't understand why I'm getting the same service, but I'm paying more money. Like, I've been coming to you for 5 years, and I'm getting the same service, but I'm paying more money, or charging for the blow dries. I
Hmm.
don't think I even realized, like, Joy, this take you a whole 30 more minutes to
Right.
blow dry someone's hair. And I have a very diverse clientele.
Hmm.
So that length of time varies depending on your texture of hair. And I
Hmm.
wasn't charging for that. So there were some clients that had issue with that. And before, I probably would have negotiated, or maybe, a cheaper price, or I might have,
Hmm.
okay, well, I'll give you, this price for a couple more, you know, times, and then it's going to go up. Or um, versus now where it's like, I just explain things,
Hmm.
this takes this long and I got to go through and do this. And so this is what it is. And
Hmm.
just leave them with the choice to make for themselves.
Hmm. Right. Right. And was that a hard place to get to?
It was a hard place to get to because, again, I'm, a recovering people pleaser. So it was a hard place to get to, especially when you're being challenged with a certain vibe, like, the lady that mentioned, I've been coming to you for years getting the same service and I'm paying more. She's in her 70s. So she brought all the sass, and so it's like, okay, I want to be respectful to you, but at the same time, what I wanted to say was, you can go somewhere else, but we can't, we can't say that.
Right.
But
Right.
I explained to her, I use all non-toxic products. This stuff gets shipped from Europe, like, depending on who it is. Sometimes I go into, not to justify the cost, but sometimes they don't realize all the effort and energy and cost that we have on our end
Right.
to perform the service. And
Hmm.
so I just let them know, like, hey, this is what's all involved in you getting what you want. Now, if you can find that somewhere else for cheaper, well, then, you have that right.
Right.
But I know my worth, so I'm not going to bargain. I'm not going to do all of that. It's like, hey, you can go somewhere else. I don't say that, but that's how I feel.
Right. But everyone has a choice,
Yeah.
and it has to make sense for both. Win-win
Yeah.
is one of my things that, it's like, if the client wins and you lose, that's not a good situation.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you overcharge and underdeliver and you win, the client loses. That's not a good,
Yeah. Not at
neither,
all.
neither one are sustainable. You can't
No.
keep going on. You can't stay in business going in the hole. And
No.
people, are like, oh, I got to get a part-time job. I got to get a full-time job,
Right.
do this part-time or what have you. It's like, it has to be sustainable and make sense for you to stay in business, to,
Yeah.
to be able to offer, like you say, the top quality products, and
Right.
the things that have learned and trained
Yes.
for. None of
Yes.
that's inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's like the most of the people I work with are not graduates of YouTube University. They've gone for
Right.
thing.
That part.
Yeah, they've gone. It's like they know what they're doing and they're experienced, and they're just scared to charge for what they're actually providing.
Yeah.
And so, creating a win-win situation is really key.
Yeah.
And being able to express, like you say, you communicate with them, why this is win-win. And it's like they can
Yeah.
decide for themselves if it's a fit or if it's not a fit. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I have clients that drive from all over, because of the services that I offer and the type of products that I use. And I just think sometimes it is good to educate the client, so you're not necessarily saying, okay, well, let me show you why I'm valuable or why this is valuable, but to educate them, like, I use a certain product line that I have to order from Europe, and their uh, regulations are different. And,
Hmm.
like, this is what you're getting. This is how it affects your body. Just, all the things. And so if that isn't, because at the end of the day, they can not care for that. And that's
Right.
okay.
Right.
You can go somewhere else and get a great job. And now, whatever may happen to you in 10 years, we'll know. But, so I'm just being funny, but I don't do it now to justify the cost. It's more of, this is a good quality service that you're getting. And if it's not financially whatever for you, go, find somewhere where, it'll work for you.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to be kind.
absolutely.
That's my whole thing, is just still being kind. I don't have to come all unglued and all of that because they made a choice to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
Sometimes you feel lost, especially if it's
Right.
someone that you've had for a long time. But at the end of the day, I still have to do what's best for me. And,
Right. Right. As do all other businesses.
yeah, yeah,
We're the only business that's like, oh, well, the prices went up for all of my
right.
clients, but it's like, oh, I'll just take it. I'll
Yeah,
take the loss rather than
yeah,
make a business decision that
yeah.
it's time for my prices to be increased or changed. And so, yeah, it's like we are in business. We are business owners. At the end of the day, we're creatives,
Hmm.
and you don't have to be mean to express and, like you say, educate your clients on what's going on, but you also don't have to justify your prices either. So,
No, and I hope what I'm about to say isn't offensive, but we're not the help.
okay.
We are. I
Break
mean,
that
not the
down.
movie, The Help, but
Right.
we're
Break
not the
that down
help. And
for us.
and I think that sometimes clients kind of view us like we're maids, and we're not.
Mhm.
We work hard and
Right.
have gone to school, and we put in a lot of work and deserve to be treated as such. And
Right.
sometimes we are treated kind of like the help, and we're not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like there's, within the industry, it's like there can be a lack of respect for what we do
Yeah,
and what we
yeah,
bring to the table.
yeah,
And my thought is sometimes it's us
yeah,
that we're
yeah,
not standing up and valuing what it is that we do. We're not explaining, the education that we have, the level of care and the level of expertise or what have you that we're bringing to
yeah,
make sure that everybody goes out looking and feeling fabulous, with the
yeah.
salon fabulous finishes, um, each and every single time to go to whatever event it is that they have to go to
Hmm.
through their lives looking great, feeling confident, and all of that. And, I think someone asked me, who was in my chair, asked me about the Oscars, I think was on, and they had the makeup and hairstyling thing.
Yeah,
They're like, why do they bother with something like that? It's like, are you kidding? It's like, let me bring you around and let's have a conversation. It's like, do you realize you wouldn't even appreciate the movie if the characters didn't look like they belonged in that particular movie? That's hair, that's makeup, that's
yes,
fashion. That's the styling and all of those things that go into you enjoying your favorite television show, your favorite.
yes,
It's like everything is image and all the images have to fit together. It's like
yeah,
somebody in a 70s flip in a 1800s, movie. It's like you're gonna be like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
yes.
And so, yes, it's like we have an important role to play.
We do. We do. We do.
Yes. And so the respect starts with us, I think, respecting what we do,
Mm-hmm.
we have to offer and valuing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So this has been wonderful. It's like, is there anything else that you want to share or add to anyone who may be, kind of on the fence as far as, maybe this might be something for me? Maybe, I don't know. Do I really want to invest this in myself? What would your thoughts be?
I would say, like I was sharing with Miki before we got started, that man, I wish they had something like this available when I was in my 20s. I might have listened, I might not have, at that time, but it wasn't available. And so I really wish that I had something like this. I think that I would be further along, for sure, if I had a course like this. I had to sit back and go, okay, it's going to cost XYZ, but you made it. Hey, look, make payments. It's an investment into yourself. It is an amazing course to take. I love that I was able to um, be with other stylists that were on the same path, which made it cool because you're not like by yourself, and hearing other people's experiences and getting feedback from them. I loved when you had us do like I forgot what you call it, where we had to pretend to be the
Play.
yeah. The role playing and just everything. And so it really is a valuable tool, life thing to have. And I highly, 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 highly recommend it. I really, really do. It's worth it to take the course for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And if you could say, like, income wise, kind of the impact that it's had, what would you
I
summarize?
would say okay, let's see. I think I took the course summer of last year, or maybe it was
2022, I think.
22. Dang, we're already in 24. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 22.
Yeah.
So from when I filed my taxes, I think that year or whatever, I made 10,000 more dollars.
Hmm.
And then I just filed my taxes for this year and made 20,000 more dollars.
Okay. On top
So what
of the
yeah.
10,000. Okay.
So it's going up.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, overall it was just like I'm like, wow. So I think that's where because sometimes like the day-to-day numbers, I don't get too wrapped up because I don't want to obsess.
Right. Right.
But when I look at the monthly projections, I'm like, dang, okay,
Mhm.
wow. Like from before taking the course until now, it's going up, up, up.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, wow, that I see the difference in just those little things, um,
Right.
plus the price increase.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus your confidence. So
And my confidence. Yep. So I definitely made more money for sure.
absolutely. Well, that's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah,
And so you lost some clients,
I did.
had some pushback.
Yes.
You are still thriving.
I'm still thriving. I'm still
Okay.
alive. My car payments are getting paid, my
Okay.
rent's getting paid. So doomsday did not happen. But
Okay.
I had to go through the process, and I feel that you properly prepared us for that. You didn't ignore that you're going to get pushed back. You didn't sweep that under the rug. You're like, hey, let me prepare you for these things because you are going to experience it. And I think for me personally, and I'm sure others, because of that, I was ready.
Hmm.
It was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And I had the tools,
Right.
so I know it wasn't therapy, but I feel like I had the tools. Just like when you go to therapy, you're given tools and they help you work through your stuff. I feel
Mhm.
that you, in your way, with this, you helped us as stylists, like a stylist therapist.
Okay.
You helped us work through all of that stuff. So then when it happened, it
Right.
was like, okay, I was properly prepared.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome because that's the intention.
Yes. I felt all of it. I was like,
Awesome.
okay. And I know this is like, I didn't feel like she just wants my money.
Hmm.
I never felt like that. Because
Right.
some of these courses, they just, here's the 10 tips, and you could just tell, like, you just want my money. But I didn't feel that. I felt the heart and intention behind it. And so it made the impact that you set out, whenever that seed was planted in you to do this, I received, it's growing in me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's an honor to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up right here. I so appreciate you taking time to, to just share all of this with everybody who's watching. And Stacy, Stacy's another graduate. We did an interview.
That's my buddy. We're friends now.
Okay. And she just says this.
Yes.
Yes, so awesome. But yeah, thank you so much. And for anybody who's watching who's thinking about, oh, I need to raise my prices, oh, it's like I'm not feeling that well valued. It's like I've invested a lot in this career. Or maybe even thinking about leaving this career because it's like it's just kind of not worth it. This is, the time to think about it. And it's like I would just want to invite you in. You can visit beautysuperstars.com /T what is it? TLHB. I think that's what it is still. It's because it was a luxury hairstylist blueprint to begin with. Those are the letters for it. But we kind of transitioned it to the luxury business blueprint because it really is bigger
Mm,
than building a hairstyling
mhm.
business. It's really about building a business and having the confidence to really stand in and create the business that you love day in and day out that financially prepares you or provides for you and
Yeah.
your family. Yeah. So I will leave the link below. I appreciate you guys joining us, whether you're joining us live or joining us on the replay. It's like take a look at the program, read through all of the success stories. Joy's, I think, pops up. It may be the first one that you see, but you can tell that it's life changing. And like she said from the beginning, it's about incorporating your head and your heart and your mindset and really making the shifts that you need to really thrive in this industry. And
Yeah.
it's all possible. So thank you, Joy. You are a
Thank
joy.
you.
So we will see you next time on I didn't even introduce the show, but this is Beauty Superstars Talk, and we will we will see you next time. So take great care, and everyone have a fabulous day and keep reaching for the stars. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.